is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been showing that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
Welcome to this morning show, everyone, on the Diamond Factor Experience with Barbara Beckley. I'm excited to be here. My name is Laura Armstrong. I am your leadership accelerator and your communication expert. This morning, we are going to talk about what's special about you and what do you have to offer. And I really think this is a great conversation because I think a lot of the times when especially for entrepreneurs, getting really clear about what you offer can be a bit of a challenge and why it's special to you. So the first thing I want to say is that people don't buy stuff. They buy from you. So by that, I mean, there's something about you that's motivated them to buy or be a part of what you do or sign up for your course or have a conversation with you, whatever it is. They want what you have, right? So when you're talking to people, and I know the word sales can be a little bit of a dirty word, just use the word influence if that doesn't work for you. So yeah, I really feel like you could use the word influence. So when you're working with others to influence them about how to be a part of what you do, what you really want to be talking about is what is special about you and why they want what you have to offer. But of course, you're speaking to it in their personality values, right? So remember we did the bank training about the personality codes. So make sure that you're picking up on those clues about what each person's personality code is, right? So whether they're action, they're super excited, whether they're blueprint, they need a process and a system, whether they're knowledge, they just want some information to make an informed decision, or whether they're nurturing, where they've got to feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves to participate. So whatever it is. So the first place we're going to start this morning is, why are you special? So As entrepreneurs and as human beings, we all are unique, right? And you have to be doing what you love. If you're not doing what you love, you need to be asking yourself why. So if you're just doing it for a paycheck and you're totally fine with that and you're good where you are, that's fine. You can stay there. And if that satisfies you, then you are good to go, right? There's no judgment about it either way. This is all about you and if you want growth. Now, if you want growth, that means you're going to be willing to do a little bit of work on yourself. You're going to find out why you are special. Now, a good way to gauge this, if you find that you ask yourself that and you're not getting any answers, is to ask your peers. What do you think is special about me? What do I have to offer? And I guarantee you, the answers that you get will be surprising. You'll be like, what? I didn't realize that, right? So make sure that when you're thinking about what you have, why you are special, or what is unique to you, it's all tied into your why. So why do you do what you do? So you need to be writing those things down. Okay, so first is your why, then your unique value proposition. I'm going to cover that in another session. I'm going to dive deeper into that. And then your mission and vision. So these are all the things that are going to create why you are special, right? And the other thing I recommend you do is write down probably 5 to 10 things that bring you joy. What is it that you love to do, right? It can be personal, it can be professional, it can be, excuse me, extracurricular activities. It can be what you want to help people with to move up in their life or change their lives or have some sort of transformation, whatever it is, right? So I really feel like you need to get to this first before we start talking about what you have to offer, right? So spend some time on this. And, there's a lot of self-reflection in here and things that I didn't really mention, things like, what is your mindset around this? What are some of the blocks that are coming up for you? Because you just can't seem to tap into it. Well, you're going to have to start, taking a look at what's coming up for you and write that down too. Well, I have a fear of being successful. I can't tell you how often I see this in the people that I work with, right? My students, right? And when we get down to it, a lot of it comes from the insecurity about who they are. They haven't built their confidence up high enough. They don't feel like they're qualified. They're going to be judged by not only themselves, but the people around them. How to change the mindset around these things and how to not let them stop you is one of the key building blocks that you need to actually step into your success and your leadership. And, starting with, why you think you're special or why, what is special about you really, like that's it, right? I think taking the time to go over this, think about it, get clear on it is really key to where you're moving next. Okay. And next we're going to talk about, what do you have to offer? So this can be a multifaceted thing. So first of all, what do you have to offer? So you want to think about not just what you have to offer, but what do people need? Okay, approach it from here, right? So what do people need, right? So do your research. I think that market research is undervalued and also underdone in the entrepreneurial space. We entrepreneurs, they just want to go out and get it, right? I know I'm that way, and I wish I'd taken more time to do what I have is very niche, right? So I know that it's a good market, but I also wish that I'd taken more time, to go out there and connect with others and what I did do and what you can do when you're thinking about what you offer is I've got a couple tips for you. So the first tip is put a poll out there. Okay, put a poll out there. What are the 3 things that or you can ask a question. I've also gotten a lot of response from this. What are the 3 things you want to see if I'm setting up my leadership course or whatever it is that you're doing? What would you want to see in that? I need everybody's opinion because I'm creating it and I want to see what people are looking for. Your feedback is important to me and I really appreciate it. I'm telling you, people want to give you their opinion. Right? It's free. They know they're not going to get in trouble or there's not going to be any conflict. You're asking for it. They will give it to you. Right? They will tell you. Right? So go out there and ask people. Okay, now you know the core of what you offer. So what do you offer? Do you offer a product? Do you offer a service? Do you offer an opportunity? And let me define each of those. So if you offer a product, that would be something that can be used by you. It can be a physical product. It can be a virtual product. It could be something that you buy online and, is for your computer, a program or something like that. But it's a transactional thing. Okay. The next is, they're all transactional at some point, but products are a bit more transactional because you have inventories a lot of the time. You're buying stock, you're shipping stuff out physically a lot of the time. Okay. It's not always a virtual transaction all the way through. A service is something that you offer in exchange for monetary value or some other thing that you work out with somebody. So a service could be anything from getting a massage from someone to taking a coaching course, right? It's service-based is where it's coming from, right? So you have your products, you have your services. So I am a service-based, I work in all three, right? So the service-based part of my business are my leadership programs and my communication training. Okay, those are all virtual, and from A to B, they are service-based because I'm creating a transformation for people, right? And it's coming directly from me. I'm the one who's offering the service, right? So it's my time, it's my creation, it's something that I'm doing, right? So it's the same if that's something that you do. And, I see it's hard to just do one of the three, right? The third one's the opportunity. I'm going to talk about that in a sec, because today things are not so one and done with people. People want an emotional connection with you, right? They don't just want to buy something and never see you again. They want to know that you're there to support them, that you're there to create that trusted partner relationship. No matter what their personality code is, they want to feel like there's some sort of connection from you on some level. So for a blueprint person, I would just stay in touch with them. I'd say, here is the ABCD of what you need to do to get through the course. Let me know if you have any questions, right? I'm here to support you. The nurture is going to need more of your time. All right, how can we move you through this? I know you want to work together. The action is like, just show me the steps and I'll do it. I'll let you know if I have any questions. I know, because I'm in action. And the knowledge is like, they're going to be the ones who ask you a million questions. So you need to go give them the information, come back to me with any questions you have. So you serve people in all different ways with your services, right? It just depends what you do. So for instance, if you're a massage therapist and you're doing massage or holistic work or whatever it is, you're still supporting your clients, right? They come for the appointment. There's an exchange of money or services or whatever it is that you arrange with them, right? And then you support them. Let me know if you have any questions. They go through the session with you, right? So it's the same thing that you follow every single time, okay? Products are a little bit different, right? Because like I said, it's a physical thing. They know what they want. You talk to them about a product. You have knowledge about that, right? And they need to know and assess if that's something that they need for what they're doing, okay? All right, the third one is an opportunity. So what is an opportunity? This is where I find a lot of entrepreneurs fall off the wagon because they get excited, right? So when you're talking about opportunities, what is it? Okay, so you're coming back to, again, what do you offer? So we're in the opportunity section here. So really, you have to treat speaking about your opportunity from your own story, right? So you need to create a story around what your opportunity is, how it changed your life and gave you transformation for people to buy into it. Because they're just not going to be like, well, why should I? They want you. They're buying you. That's what I said at the beginning, right? Especially with an opportunity, they want to know your story. They want to know how it changed you. They want to know why it's so great, and they should get on board, right? So when you're talking to them about your opportunity, make sure that you're not vomiting all the information at them. So it's like, ugh, get away from me, or throwing it against the wall and giving them 150 different things and seeing what sticks with them. Again, what you're going to do here, as you will in the other two, is you're going to start to ask key questions of them, right? Find out what their pain point is, right? And so when you offer the opportunity, you're going to talk about those key points that they need help with, right? That's the key to having a really good conversation about your opportunity. And just present it to them very naturally and just say, this is why I did it for me. And you mentioned that this is what you're looking for, right? So this might also be helpful for you, right? And then let them make the decision, right? Speak in their personality code. Make sure that you're tapping into that. You're listening to what they say and offer the opportunity as a natural part of the conversation. And I think I see so many people go off track here and lose traction. They lose the sale because they don't feel adequately prepared to talk to the client, or their pitch is too pitchy, or it's not pitching to the right personality code, or they're not having a trusted partner relationship. You've already built trust with this person having a conversation. Don't throw it all away. Make sure that you engage in the conversation. And there are two other things I want to add to this. So don't be attached to the outcome of the conversation. It's never about you. It's about them. They're gauging whether they need what you have. You can only present your best self, right? And the other thing about that is be willing to walk away from people who say no. There are billions of people on this planet. I promise you, there will be someone who wants what you have, right? Just keep speaking their personality code, be talking to them in the language that they understand, and be patient when you're pitching that opportunity, okay? So the three things that you offer, again, product, service, and opportunity. Those are key. Now, most people offer a combination of two or more of those. I offer all three, right? So it just depends who I'm talking to, right? So when you're creating what you offer, there was a time where I went through where I was doing so many different things, right? And I was really struggling about what my central message was. And I see this a lot with entrepreneurs. So, at that time I was teaching martial arts. I also had my holistic practice that was very thriving. I was working full-time as a trader on the trading desk. And I was also, doing other things, right? Like I would do side businesses, right, as well, right? And so my message, I felt, I think I was a travel agent at that time or something. Anyways, back then, so I couldn't figure out where my message is connected. And I know for entrepreneurs, we do have several different things that we do. So what you need to do is find out where it connects. So what I figured out is I want to help people with leadership, right? Because even in my holistic practice, I was doing leadership. I was coaching people on how to have a better mind, body, spirit connection, right? And I would bring the hurt and the heal. Like I understood that in my martial arts, why we need both and how that translates into leadership. The same skills transferred over. So you have to figure out what is it, if you're doing multiple things, what is your connection point to each of them? There's a core value there that you offer that is going to touch on each of them. You just need to figure out what that is, right? And sometimes I think people get lost and they, so then they're doing this and then they're offering that. And then I offer this over here, and it's funny because when I'm talking to people in my business, I talk about leadership and communication. Into corporate, I work with corporate on an exceptional customer experience by creating clear and effective communication. So it's all connecting up, right? Now, I said, but the one thing I do for fun is I have a business where I have fine wines delivered to my door. And people are like, oh, I want to hear more about that, right? But it's not connected to the other things, but it's still part of what I do, right? And the people that are interested will want to know more about it. So what I do see is when people are talking about their business and they do different things, they've forgotten how to connect them up. So, and I struggle with this. That's why I don't want you guys to struggle with it. Figure that out right from the beginning. Okay, how can they all connect up, right? Am I going to be more wellness based? Am I going to be more business based? Do I solve a problem that, I could reach out to 2 markets for, right? So what you offer can be as diverse as you want it, but you got to get clear on what you offer and how it's connected, right? Without that, you're just kind of going to be all over the place, and it's not going to be cohesive, and it's not going to gel. So I just gave you some tips on how to do that. And the last thing I want to talk about what you have to offer is, allow yourself to be vulnerable and step out into what you do. Because the law of marketing is nothing markets itself. No one is going to know that you are there until you start speaking out, until you start showing up. And that's going to make some great changes in your life, because not only will you show up in your business, you'll start to show up in your life. And that's where things will change. And that's where things will shift. That's where things will shift, not just on a professional level, but on a personal level, right? This is where you have the growth. So knowing what you offer is great, but you got to take it to the next level where you're actually showing up and talking about it in the world and being present and being vulnerable. It's hard to be vulnerable. It takes time to do that. I know for me, I was like, I'm not going to be vulnerable. It doesn't mean you have to, put your whole life out there for people to look at. It could be something as simple as telling your story and your why. And that's why it's so important to have that as backup, as the core of who you are and what you offer, because you're always going to be able to go back to that. And that's also going to be a story that changes as you grow. People want stories of hope and encouragement. They want to hear your lows and they want to hear your highs, right? They want to hear the whole story and how you overcame struggle and know that they can do it too, right? Remember, you are a beacon of leadership in what you do. Don't forget that, right? You may think that people aren't watching. People are watching. I remember I was doing this challenge where I was doing these minute videos for like 30 days, right? And I can't remember where the challenge was. And so, I did the challenge. I don't think I quite made it to the 30 days, but, I talk about something for a minute each day. I try to make it, some kind of Laura wisdom or whatever you want to call it. And so I stopped doing the videos after a certain amount of time. I think I might have made it through the 30 days. I'm not sure. But it was interesting because I got a whole bunch of comments from people who are like, so are you not doing those videos anymore? And like people I didn't even know. And I'm like, what? Right? So, what you're putting out there is being seen. You just don't know who it's being seen by. So always make sure that you're giving the best of yourself to others. Be authentic, be genuine, be willing to be vulnerable. Give them a system they can use to work with you and all the information that they need. And most importantly, connect with them, right? Always at the end of my calls today, which I'm going to do very shortly, is, my name is Laura Armstrong. My company is Leadership with Laura. I'm a leadership accelerator, communication expert. I am a 3-time world champion martial artist. I know what it takes to get you to be the best. And that's what I talked about today. So you can reach me at leadershipwithlaura.com. Check me out there, or email me at laura@leadershipwithlaura.com. I want to let you guys know also, that when you're offering what you offer, just be really clear about it. Define it down. Get people to look at it and make sure that it's not just you looking at it. Have others look at it as well. Okay? So that's all I wanted to talk about today on what do you offer. I hope it helps give you some a breakdown of the things that you're going to need to be successful and be clear about what you offer. Next week, we're going to be talking about, I got my list here, what would you like to add to your business? So I've got some really great suggestions around that as well. So we're going to connect then. Don't forget, I'm on Clubhouse in the Leadership Warriors room. Make sure that you join our room. We're going to be having some awesome rooms coming up. And exciting news. I've got my 4-day leadership boot camp that's coming up. Great price. I'm going to give it, I'm literally almost giving it away, right? It's 4 days of training that's going to bring your leadership and your business to the next level. And I can't wait to tell you about it. But meanwhile, you can go check out my free 3-day leadership challenge at leadershipwithlaura.com. the number 3-day LC. Take advantage of that. And it's some great training to bring you to the next level. All right, everyone, I will see you next week. Be good. Know what you offer, and I'll connect with you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.
Borders with a Dominican.
Her name is Serena Buffalino. They call her Mrs. B, and her class always begins with a pledge.
Something local, something global. Haiti.
They're words that carry weight here. Helping yourself means helping others, giving back, here and a world away in Haiti.
And nobody's helping them, except for people like us.
It was through her the class learned of Haiti, of the nearly 1 million orphans, many with no school, no support, no Mrs. B in their lives.
They could not wrap their head around that.
Mrs. B's students are among Toronto's most at risk. Their challenges vary from emotional and behavioral difficulties to learning disabilities. Their trauma so severe they can't function in a regular school setting, and we aren't allowed to show most of their classmates.
For most of the kids, most of society has turned them away. And in this classroom, they're accepted. They're accepted no matter what for who they are.
Take Yolanda. She came here last year so burdened and withdrawn, she would often fall silent, sometimes for days on end. It was, she says, Mrs. B's patience, her quiet encouragement, that saved her.
She actually saves people's lives from dangers.
And perhaps that's why these marginalized kids feel such a kinship with the orphans of Haiti and why they were moved to act.
And so when Yolanda and Jackie and Patrick said, well, Miss B, we need to build them a school.
Build a school. No easy task. They started out raising money. They sold samosas, washed cars, screened movies, you name it. And in just a few months, this little class raised $20,000. So much, it's not just a one-room schoolhouse they can build, but a full 3-story school. And so Mrs. B set off on a journey she'd dreamed of, up into the dusty mountains above Port-au-Prince to a town called Canaan. It's home to thousands of earthquake refugees who live with no running water, no electricity, and no school, until now. The first step was a temporary school. It's up and running. 53 students already in uniform. The permanent school for 250 is growing from its foundations.
It makes me want to cry because she just makes me feel so awed, and I'm very proud of her.
All of this because of a handful of students back in Canada and Mrs. B, the teacher who believed in them.
These are for you.
At another fundraiser, a special tribute to the students, accepted by someone who, without Mrs. B, might not be here.
They believe in me and I believe in them, and together we not only change our lives, but we change the world around us.
For inspiring great things and seeing the potential in everyone, Serena Buffalino is this week's Everyday Hero.
This is the reason why I do what I do, is because of Yolanda and all the...
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Diamond Spotlight interview. I am Barbara Beckley, the founder of the Diamond Factor LLC, where the mission is to empower people, especially women, to understand their PPD, their purpose, passion, and drive. And this platform is to make sure to increase their visibility and shine like a diamond in the world day. So today we are spotlighting a wonderful, and I call all the women that I interview is Queen Diamonds. So Bacha Getz is the author of 38 books that helps children's souls shine. She is also the author of a candid memoirs about overcoming food addiction joyfully. And all of her books are found on Amazon. And I want to welcome this wonderful queen. How you doing this morning?
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Barbara.
Thank you. Thank you, lady. You look wonderful. You look beautiful. I love the hair. I love the top. I love everything. So we're just going to get right into it. I want our audience, I want the listeners to really get to know you, because that's one thing is I like to have, and I call it, you have a diamond in you and you have that diamond. So as I was reading your bio, it was truly awesome, as I mentioned in your bio, where it said you're an author of 38 books that focus on bringing you out the beauty out of soul concerning children. So can you please explain what inspired you to start all those children's books?
Yes, I wasn't brought up actually believing in like spirituality, understanding that we have a soul. And I think from the age of 12, I started searching spiritually. I couldn't believe that this was all there was to life, to get up, to eat, to go to work, to make money, to eat, to go to work, to make money. I mean, that couldn't be it. Just going on and on like that. There has to be something more, like another dimension to life, deeper dimensions. So I was searching spiritually for years until I actually, into a whole bunch of different religions, actually until I came back to my own heritage at 22, which was awesome to discover that there was a tremendous amount of spirituality in my own heritage, which I never knew about. And it was really like diamonds. It was like I found a treasure of diamonds. That's what I found. And it's really been lighting up my life ever since. So I wanted to write books for children. Like, children can understand the deepest stuff if you explain it in a concrete way. So that's what I do. I do it like in a joyful way, in a delightful way. I explain the deepest stuff to children. I write the kind of books I wished I had when I was a child, when I was searching for so many years. An example is like The Invisible Book. The Invisible Book is about all the things, so many things we believe in that are invisible, like gravity, like our thoughts, our feelings. These are all invisible. Like even the wind, it's invisible. These all have a powerful effect on our lives, and yet they're invisible. So then why is it so far-fetched to believe that we're all souls, that we're all spiritual beings clothed in bodies? We look like physical beings, but invisibly there's so much more to us. And that's what I'm explaining in all different ways in my books about the spiritual part of us. I'm bringing that out so that we could all be aware that we're spiritual beings early on in life, and that makes life so much richer throughout life. If we get that early on, we'll have that for the rest of our lives.
And that's what I love about your books, because like you said, it's taking the younger, much younger, the children, and starting from there, to getting them to understand. And I love your books because they have the illustrations are so just vivid, and it explains the most simplest way where anyone can understand. So I have to give you so much. I mean, and you deal with all different situations when it comes to children. So and you make it easier for them, I feel like, to understand certain things about understanding who they are and what they're about and what they can do. And just don't dream, but you can be certain things. So I'm loving every minute of it. 38 books. I'm still like, wow.
Yeah, well, it's not as hard as it sounds because they're not that long. They're picture books, so they don't take me a long time to write. And here, I'll show you one here. This is I Want to Be Famous. This is about a boy who wants to be famous. Like so many children, they want to be famous. So he becomes famous overnight. And the way anybody could nowadays, someone happens to take a YouTube video of him and he becomes famous, viral video all over the place overnight. But guess what? He loses his fame just as quickly as he got it, And then he discovers that there is This is about you, an inner spotlight, a spotlight that he really discovers the diamond inside of himself. So then when you discover the diamond within, you can shine forever. That's it. So that's really what I want to give children. And that's it. You can have this forever. Now, I have one book about let's appreciate everyone. It's teaching children how to interact with other children that have disabilities. Now, we don't know how, and we actually need to sensitize children. How do you interact with someone with a disability? Like, for instance, if another child's in a wheelchair, sit down next to them. Don't be standing up way above them. Sit in a chair so that you can communicate on the same level. If you meet someone who's blind, right away, come up, introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Braca Getz. How do you do? And, I'd like to get to know you. And let's say you see a child with some disability. Instead of staring, is another 5-letter word, smile. That means so much to a child with a disability, for someone to smile. I mean, everyone loves to have a smile. Everyone loves to be smiled, but especially children with disabilities who get stared at much more than they get smiles. And and to include children whenever possible, to invite them, especially children that have invisible disabilities where they just don't know how to socially interact too well and they don't get along with people so well. Include them, invite them to your party. They almost never get invitations. It means the world to them to have a play date and things like that, whatever we could do. So this book helps children especially, and adults as well, to learn how to interact.
Yes. And I'm loving that, because with your books, like you said, it's dealing with the children, but when the parents or other adults are reading, we get a lot out of it too. It's like a revamp of like, wait a minute, I need to be. Hopefully, I'm doing that. Hopefully, I am respecting and understanding people with different disabilities and stuff, and to treat them and respect them. So I mean, this is one of the examples. So yes, so the book helps in both areas. They help in both areas.
Exactly right. Exactly. We can simplify things for everybody, adults and children. We all need things seem so complicated, but there are certain simple truths that everybody can gain from.
Yes,
exactly.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Now, you have another book that includes memoirs about overcoming food addiction, joyfully titled Searching for Good in the Garbage. Please share what drives you to write this book concerning, transformation experience that you have that you want to share with others.
Exactly. It's so interesting what you said. You said the title of the book is Searching for Good in the Garbage when it's God in the garbage, but that's really what it is. It's searching for good in the garbage. No, but that's really what it's about. I was searching for what was thrown away. I was searching for what still had value that has been tossed in the garbage. That's what I was searching for. So basically, I had eating addictions for years, and the book is like, it's a compilation of my diaries and then my journals as I got older and letters that I wrote to people. So basically it starts from age 12 and it goes to age 32. It's not that big a book though. I just put in like the main stuff. And so you can see the development of the food addictions and then how I overcame them. And it's really interesting because you experience it's not like a regular book, because you experience like the gradual development and then the healing. So I didn't even understand how I healed from the addictions until I've discovered my diaries, and then I noticed the thread that was going through them, and I figured out what was going on. It was spiritual nourishment that I was starving for. And when a person is starving, nothing can, it's like there's a bottomless pit. Nothing can fill the person up. So until they get the nourishment that they're really craving. So for instance, like when a person, let's say they're eating, especially at night, people have, they eat like a whole box of chocolate chip cookies while they're watching a TV show or something, like that, or a bag of potato chips. The reason is because they want more pleasure in their life. Food provides immediate pleasure. So it's an easy pleasure. And so it's the most common addiction that there is, because people develop addictions when they need more pleasure in their life. That's basically the bottom line. So if we can fill our lives with more and more pleasure, there's no more need for the addiction. It gets crowded out because our lives are full enough already. So here's how it goes. There is actually a pleasure ladder, 5 rungs on the pleasure ladder. And these rungs on the pleasure ladder, they correspond to the 5 levels of the human soul. On the bottom level is physical pleasures. So that's why if a person eats food and they're getting pleasure from it, they could get stuck there. If they don't have a lot of other pleasures in their lives, they can get stuck on the lowest level. But once they realize that this world, I was searching for years, what is the purpose of life? And here it is. It's amazing, amazing. The purpose of life is to experience the greatest pleasure possible. That sounds incredible. Like, people don't say that. But what I mean by pleasure is something tremendous. And I mean lasting pleasures are the greatest pleasures of all. So as we go up the ladder, we have physical pleasures on the bottom level. Let's say a person they just feel like overeating. If they get in the habit of asking themselves this one question, this is the question: is it my body that's hungry or my soul? That question, it opens up our consciousness. It expands our consciousness. I just came up with this new line last week. It expands our consciousness instead of our waistline. Basically, that's what it does.
Because that's a good tagline.
Yeah, I just thought of that. It's like, this is what it does. It expands our consciousness. So we realize if this world was really made for pleasure, then there's an abundance of pleasure in this world. For instance, like, food could have been made colorless. It could have all been gray, and it could have had no aroma, but it was designed to give us pleasure. Beautiful colors and fruit. Fruit are the brightest colors when they're ripe, ready to pick from a tree. They become bright and ready. Up until then, they're not so bright. Don't eat me yet. You can get a stomach ache. But when it becomes bright, then it's ready to be eaten. So food was designed for our pleasure. And so was so many other things in this world. It's just one pleasure of an infinite amount. So if a person feels like overeating, and in other words, they've had enough to satisfy their body, but it's a different part of them that is getting them to keep overeating. So they can turn on music, for instance, and start dancing or stretching. They can call somebody, call someone that's lonely, call or text somebody, and suddenly that desire to keep overeating is no longer there.
Goes away.
And it's not just distraction. It's because you're actually nourishing the part of a person that's really hungry. It's the soul that's hungry. So you're giving a different type of pleasure. So, or you could spend time in nature. That's another physical pleasure, that suddenly you open the window, you feel the breeze, and you don't feel like overeating. It's like you're doing something else that's bringing you pleasure. Yeah. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, I'm just loving everything you're saying. And I didn't really realize that, because you're replacing, like you're saying, you're replacing that pleasure of food. And then you're opening up it's kind of like you're opening your mind to say, there's more to pleasure than just eating. there's so many other things that you could be doing. Besides just the eating part. Yeah. Wow.
Exactly, because we get stuck in a rut. It's just a bad habit. And here's the thing, we can make new habits so easily if we do them with joy. Like, it's obvious, but there were studies done, research done. It takes like 200 times to repeat something to form a habit. But if you do it with joy, you can, in 10 times, you could create a new habit. Just 10 times of doing something joyfully, you can create. It's so much easier to create new habits when we bring more pleasure and do them joyfully. So the second level the second level is love. But it's not like the kind of love where we're sitting around waiting for someone else to come into our life. It's the love that is an empowering love. We can bring love into our lives whenever we want. How? By appreciating other people. If we value other people, we're bringing love into our life, just like you do. You appreciate so many people and you spread love all around. That's when, nobody, when a person is bringing love into their life, they don't feel like overeating. They just want to be doing more and more of love, spreading love. So that's the second level. The third level is meaning. When you fill your life with meaningful things and you're doing good, you don't feel like overeating. And it's each one is a more lasting pleasure. You're bringing more and more lasting pleasure. So the fourth level is creativity. When we do something creative, like a podcast, we are doing something creative. We can, we're in a zone, like time passes, we don't even know because we're involved doing something creative. It's so wonderful. And then the highest level is transcendence. Transcendence is when there's no more barriers between people. The illusion of disconnection is dissolved. We feel connected to everybody and everything. So each level up fills us with more connection. The reason, again, why we overeat is because we feel alone, disconnected, and separate, or anxious, bored, all these things. And these are all parts of feeling a disconnection from the rest of the world. So as we connect more and more, we have more lasting pleasure, and this is how we fill ourselves up. And that's how our souls get nourished.
Oh my God. I can talk to you all day, lady. You're just a ball of just energy that, I was like just sitting here just talking to you and just teaching us the different levels and understand that it doesn't have to just stop at that lower level. That's the part that I'm loving. And oh my God, I'm going to take this. I just learned something. I'm going to take it right now and just run with that. So, wow. So, just you being, I want to just get just a little bit feedback from you, because you're a really well-established author. And can you give some advice to listeners? What qualities are needed to become an author? If there's listeners already, authors right now, what can help, move them forward?
Yes. When I get a rejection, I right away send it out again. I just keep going. So don't be dismayed by any rejections that you get. Keep going. I try to do it like within a few minutes of getting a rejection in an email. I don't give up. I just send it out to a different publisher. I just keep going, and if, let's say, I've sent it to a whole bunch and it's still rejected, then maybe I'll start to revise it, or I'll send something else. But don't give up. Just keep trying, keep going, and let the momentum, just continue. Yes, exactly.
Just keep it moving. I love it that keep it moving. Yes. And believing, because this, like I said, right now, you probably look at something like, okay, next, and just keep it going. I can see you doing that.
That's what I do. I try not to waste any time. If I have a message that I feel it's important for the world to hear, why should it just sit on my desk? Get it out. I just keep trying different ways to send things out into the world. Exactly.
Well, now I can always tell you can have a lot of superpowers, but what can you say is your number one superpower and why?
Oh, it is soul power. Soul power is our superpower. Everybody's got it. Everybody is a spiritual being with an infinite soul that can do an infinite amount of things in this world. It's unbelievable. So never feel like there's a scarcity. We always have to recognize that this world was made for pleasure. Now, there are people that had abuse and neglect as children. They've gone through trauma in their lives. Their souls are more covered with garbage sometimes than other people. People have been throwing garbage on that beautiful light, on that beautiful diamond. So it's not easy. But the more that we nourish our souls, that's how the light gets through. You know, you can see it. You see a little bud coming up through cement. You can see it out on the sidewalk. It gets through a little hole. That's what we could do. Even those that have suffered from abuse, and I've also written some books to help children prevent abuse in their lives. We just want souls to shine. This is so important. So how do we do that? Sometimes there's emotional blockage. Sometimes therapeutic help is needed to get rid of that emotional blockage, to let your soul shine. But that's really what we're all here for, and we all have that tremendous soul power. It's a superpower.
Yes. Ooh, I feel just chills. Miss Queen, you are so, oh my God. So, okay, I hate to ask this question because you've given us so many golden nuggets here, but what kind of last words would you like to leave with the listeners? And please tell them where they can contact you.
Oh, yeah. Well, all my books are on my Amazon author page. Bracha Getz, Amazon author page. You could find everything. But here's what I want to say. The name of your show is phenomenal, the Diamond Spotlight, because diamonds become diamonds under pressure, you know, under challenges in life. That's how you become a diamond. So just because if you're going through a challenge in your life, pain is not the opposite of pleasure. Actually, comfort is the opposite of pleasure. Comfort is an addiction. It's an immediate thing that we do. But real pleasure, sometimes often, can involve pain. We have to go through challenges. Climbing a mountain is a challenge, but it's a pleasure. And giving birth, there's a lot of pain involved, but it's one of the greatest pleasures on earth. So I love that the name of this show is the Diamond Spotlight, and we all have diamonds within us. We have to polish them, and they get polished through the trials that we go through in life. They make us into better people. So that's what we're all here for. And remember, again, if you have an addiction, ask yourself, is it my body that's hungry or my soul? And you will start to feel the abundance in life and enjoy a lot more pleasure. So I hope everybody that's listening is blessed with a joyful life. Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh my God! Is it? Yeah. Oh, it's just I had to bring you back, lady. I had to bring you back. I mean, we had just a short amount of time, just learning you and hearing your energy and just what you believe in. It's just so powerful. Thank you for impacting, you know, people in the world, especially the children. The children really need you. You know, I see that purpose in you, that they really need you. And I'm so glad that you were part of their lives. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for what you're doing, Barbara. I'm so happy. You're doing something so extraordinarily beautiful in this world. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I just want to say I wish you continuously, I'm going to say, life success in your life, your personal life, and in your business. Okay. So, and I'm always going to be here for you if you need me for anything else to, you know, put out there. If you want to talk about other things, like I said, I'm here for you because we need to keep spotlighting the diamonds. We keep spotlighting that. So those that are listening, thank you for joining us for another, you see, a wonderful special edition of the Diamond Factor Spotlight interview. And you can join the Facebook community under Diamond Factor LLC Development Within You. And if you wish to be spotlighted, please contact me by messenger under the Facebook page, or you can call me at 262-344-1000. And remember, as we were saying, Rocco was saying, that remember that you have a diamond factor in you. It's your purpose, passion, and drive, because it's so important that you're here in this life. You weren't put on this earth by mistake. You put on this earth for a purpose. So please remember that, and we will see you at the next Diamond Spotlight interview. Thank you. Love you, Bracha, so much. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Barbara.